What I'm gonna ask everybody to do, and we'll ask a couple times throughout this as people are logging in. I'd like everybody to go into the chat and put your name and what organization you're with, so we can take a roll call of who's in, because we see names, but we don't usually don't see what program you're from, and then we can kind of keep track of who's on the calls and who we're looking for to be on the to going to the YouTube channel. So don't forget, if you can't be on these mandatory calls each month, you can go to the MARR website and then go under news and then go to the YouTube, and you can actually see all the operator meetings. You can see Dr. David Best videos and stuff, but if you can't attend the meeting, you can actually look at it on YouTube. So we have a little agenda going today. I'm going to introduce Kayla. Kayla, go ahead. Do you have any updates you want to talk about?
I would. I did want to let everyone know, I know we're going to touch on this subject today, but we do only have 26 operators who have filled out the survey that I sent out about attending the NAR conference. Just so everyone knows, I don't know if it was made clear or not, because I think I only really verbalized it via email, but I'm only sending out the conference codes for free registration to people who fill out the survey that I created. So if you do wish to attend still and you haven't seen that survey or filled that survey out still, I would fill that out as soon as possible, and I will send you a free registration code. I'm also going to attach it to my post-meeting follow-up email, the email that I send out after every single meeting. So there's that.
So the state has given us money in order to have one person from each organization attend the conference for free. So it's really important. I hope you take advantage of that. And if you're not able to fill out the Survey Monkey for whatever reason, or you haven't gotten it or something, please let Kayla know, so we can make sure that we're working out any kinks, because we want you to be able to get to the meeting, like all the operators to be able to represent.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Jeff will touch on it too, but it is definitely important to register as soon as you can as well, because I know hotel rooms are filling up. There are several in the area, but I know the one that at the Henry Hotel, there's very few rooms left. So you'll probably have to stay at any surrounding hotels. Also, I wanted to bring up a new addition to the MARR website. We created a RecCap champions list. So all of the operators that have been involved with RecCap and have been working with Kelly and going that extra mile to make your programs as efficient as possible, we've created a special list to acknowledge you guys. And you're first on the operator, the full operator list for potential residents. So we want to applaud everybody that has been involved with that and everybody that is still working on Kelly to get on board. Anyone that becomes involved with RecCap will be on that list and will receive like a special shout out on our website. Let's see. I also wanted to bring up something that we've noticed with several of our operators, which is a decrease in beds. I was wondering if anybody had any information that they would like to share on to why maybe you've downsized in your beds. Maybe it was a lack of funding. Maybe it was too much for you to handle and you just wanted to get rid of some, or whatever the case may be. We would really like to know. We have our quarterly report coming up, and we would love to have further information as to why we've seen some decrease in beds and even residences. Some have shut down specific homes or things like that. So we would love to hear your input as to why maybe any of you have decreased your beds.
Kayla, is it specific to decrease in men or women or both?
Both. It's just been like straight across the board. Most recently we had A really big men's um men's total come down and LGBTQ homes come down as well. So that was
One program went down to like went down 100 beds. Just
yeah,
one program.
yeah.
And
So, and I'll reach out to people individually as well, but I didn't know if anyone would like to share with the group and maybe some things that you're experiencing that maybe we haven't realized, or again, maybe a lack of funding, or maybe we have you doing too much. I don't know. But if anyone would like to share, we would love to know.
anyone on here having issues with keeping your beds filled, or overhead costs are too much or something, or anything you want to share? Nothing?
No worries if not.
No,
Don't
I
make
think
me have to call out names.
hey, this is Jason. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We went through a little phase where we had to start exiting some guys that weren't, they weren't here for the purposes of recovery. They were here for cheap rent. So, we recently just went through and did something like that, but we still have the same amount of bed space. I still see the amount the interest is still right where it's always been. We have a waiting list, and I get probably 10, 20 calls a day, people looking for beds. So there's
That's
definitely not a
great.
shortage of people needing help. So
Yeah, there definitely is still no shortage of people needing help. We know that we're not curing it or anything. But yeah, it'd be great to know if there are any actual reasons.
All right.
Otherwise, that's it.
Kelly, go ahead and introduce yourself. You got any updates?
Oh, a lot of familiar names and some familiar faces.
Oh,
So
we
my
can't
name
hear
is-
you.
Oh, sorry. Let's hold this up. I've been having trouble with my microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So we're still in the process of onboarding operators. Like I said last time, we're over half now of actively onboarding our operators with the RECCAP system, with the ARMS system. Something that we do need to kind of do a little bit better on is keeping a steady pace for the onboarding, and being able to set goals and get those completed. Kind of as we decide together. Part of the onboarding process is we work together as a team and just kind of decide, what feels comfortable for our next meeting. We meet weekly, and there are a lot of shortages in staffing, I'm hearing, and I don't think that's, a surprise to anyone. So we're just working hard to maintain, our progress. And again, I've reached out to every operator that we have registered multiple times. If we have not had a conversation, if you could please reach out to me, I can put my email address in the chat. You're also welcome to call me. I can also put that in the chat. But we do need to minimally touch base with each other just to kind of review the system and things of that nature. So all the online training is going very well. So we're just keeping up the pace, and we'll just keep hitting on folks until we hit our mark of, I think we have like 62 at this time. Is that right, Kayla?
Nice.
62 members?
63, I believe.
63, cool. So so we're steadily working towards getting everybody involved. Like I said, if you have not received an email, please let me know. I am definitely using the contact information that we have through Certami for the contact individual. So pretty much that's where we're at. We're just kind of working along and looking forward to hearing some of the information that Dr. Bess has been able to disseminate from our information at the conference in October. And then one last thing is the vouchers. I emailed everyone that's currently onboarding to make sure that everyone had received the voucher that can be filled out for a $300 reimbursement for computer equipment, and that is per registered address location. So if for any reason you didn't receive that, please let me know. That's due on September 15th. So there's a couple of days still left in that. But aside from that, I think that's all I have today.
Awesome. Well, that was quick. You're both very quick. I don't see Jeff on here. I know
He's
sitting.
trying to log on right now. For some reason,
Oh.
the meeting link isn't working. So
Yeah, my computer's been going in and out too. So if I freeze or something, Kayla, you just take over. I think it's because we got kind of yucky weather. And Jeff had an appointment this morning, so I wasn't sure if his dentist thing was going to allow him to speak or not. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the different types of homes that, obviously there's all different types of recovery homes. And as far as MARR is concerned, if you're providing recovery services and the recovery supports for individuals that live in your home, I don't care if it's a house, I don't care if it's an apartment, I don't care if it's a large building, but it does need to be, you need to make it a home-like environment. So I do see a lot more larger settings that seem to be more institutional-like, and it makes sense that they, it's something that's available. They can have more people in there, they can help more people, but there has to be a way to make these settings more home-like. I'd like to kind of come up with a conversation or come up with some different ideas from operators. What are some things that people can do to help make larger places more home-like and welcoming? And color is one thing. I just don't have white walls, the institutional white walls, adding some color to your place, maybe adding some plants, in your home, kind of help warm things up a little bit, some pictures. One thing I've talked about several times is to allow the individuals to make the space their own in their own bedroom, is like the larger bulletin boards. Have a bulletin board by each bed so each person can put their family photos or their schedule or something that inspires them when they're laying there in bed thinking about how hard their day was. You can look up and they see, this is why I'm doing this. I've got a little girl at home waiting, for her mom or her dad to come home, just so there's got to be different ways to make their environment more home-like versus just providing the basic needs. Here's a bed, here's a shelf to put your things on, and here's a bathroom. There's just got to be more than that. So what are some things that you have done to help make your home more welcoming, more home-like, especially those that have some larger facilities? Can you give some examples and things that might help people? Go ahead and speak up, or I'm going to call names. I'm looking at Lee Zinsky from Share House. You have a very large building, a lot of people that you help. So what are some things that you do to help make Share House more home-like and more welcoming?
Can you hear me? I don't know.
I can.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Our building that Catherine's referring to is a 100-year-old former elementary school. So one of the things that helps us is the building is also a recovery organization, a certified recovery organization. So we have a lot of public events that go on in the building, and there's a lot of traffic we have 12-step meetings that meet in the building, and there's a lot of posters and encouragement and bulletin boards in the hallways. And it was an elementary school, so it's not quite as institutional because little kids used to come here. So there's colored tiles in the bathroom and stuff like that. But we just have a lot of recovery messaging on the boards. And I think having so many people from the public in and out of the building helps make it seem like you're not in a correctional facility. You're in a place where people live and where people, other than the 20 men that live there, are working on themselves to be better. And we also have a lot of furniture that's the same furniture you would use in your house. So in our rooms, the rooms that, like we have a computer room, there's couches in there. And there's a dining room table that's a dining room table. That was a dining room table. It looks like a dining room table. So there's furniture that suggests that these are not metal tables and chairs that you would be able to hose down later.
Great.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share what you're doing? Even in your regular home, what you're doing? Have you done different things to help make your environment a little bit more welcoming and home-like? It's really important that we distinguish. There's a difference between treatment and recovery housing. You know, not just the clinical portion, but you know, when you go to a recovery house, it's a recovery house. It's a home. It's like a family unit. That's your support. And there's a kitchen, and you can sit on the couch and maybe have a movie night with your other people that are living there. Maybe have a family style meal because there's enough chairs for everybody to sit around the dining room table and have a family meal, or maybe have a house meeting and do a family meal at the same time. But it's such a difference having that kind of atmosphere versus having more of a treatment style atmosphere. For them, they come home and they can relax and talk to others that are going through the same thing they're going through. They have their own space. They have maybe, like I said, they've been able to make the space their own in some ways. And some of you, I know probably all of you at one time or the other, have experienced individuals that will make that space their own, whether you want them to or not, by putting holes in your walls or putting a big old poster up there, you know, and big old nails and stuff. So trying to avoid that kind of stuff and providing them an area will help solve that issue. So you won't have to deal with hopefully plastering walls. But there's a big difference, and it's important that we do what we can to make that available for the residents. Mr. Van Treese, see you on there.
I apologize for being late, but I'm now back from my doctor's office, ready to go.
So what updates do you have?
One of the things you might want to consider is I know when I was in my first 6 months at Building Men for Life home, they did things like they had a euchre night. They had things like they sponsored a league team in the softball league. They would take people out for kayak trips and those types of things. And that was more of a, gee, it's a college group of guys. But still, it had some form of community and some, gee, this is not treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't go to the kayak meetings for treatment. So I apologize. Again, I wasn't here, but I don't know whether you were able to cover the two things I wanted to talk about, which was, and this is on the MARR website, but there is a new from SAMHSA best practices for recovery housing that has NAR and Dave Sheridan replete throughout this document, and it speaks about all the things that you guys are doing here in Michigan for recovery. One additional item is Michigan law is recently changed 2 months ago. They added to the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, which is the Michigan equivalent of the Federal Civil Rights Act. but specific to the state of Michigan only. They added gender as a protected class, which means that a trans person can be placed into and should be placed into a home that where they identify as a man and or woman. And the PIHPs, I believe, have unanimously taken the position that you need to follow the gender rules. If there's any type of religious exemption or request for a religious exemption, that needs to be made to the PIHPs, because we don't, the MARR does not handle that, doesn't make that decision. The PIHPs would make the decision. So, for instance, if you have Catholic charities or Muslim related recovery residents that might choose for religious reasons not to comply with the gender requirement of Michigan law, that be made, that request be made to the PIHPs, not to MARR. And then one final last thing I've got on my agenda, which is the MARR Best Practices Conference is coming up in October. Now
3
is
weeks. Yeah.
now is the time to register for that. If you haven't already, please register for that. The costs for the hotel rooms, we're going to be going up from roughly $190 a night to roughly twice that, or $370, $380 a night. So now is the time to take advantage of both the free registration and also the discounted cost of the hotel room. So with that, that's all I've got, Catherine.
All right. I was on a sponsorship meeting right before this meeting too. Just we're talking about that. And Katie Boardman was talking about volunteer committee. Kayla's being nominated to be in charge of the volunteer committee. Yay, Kayla.
Yep.
So on this meeting, we were hoping to get a lot of people that would like to volunteer to help at the conference. So we need people to help register people. We need people at the breakout sessions to, introduce, the next speaker that's coming on, or there's the keeping track of the CEUs as well at each section. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to need volunteers for. So if you could reach out to Kayla, or even put something in the chat as well that you would be interested in volunteering. Kayla's got a meeting tomorrow about this, and she'll be able to share some names with Katie and emails, so we can get you on board and stuff to help with that. That would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, just if you could even just send me an email. If you have people from your program that are interested, I know we have a couple of programs already that we're willing to volunteer people. Just send me any names and contact information so I can keep a list. Some of the benefits of being a volunteer is you'll get free lunch, and you get to sit on all of the speakers, and oh, sorry if there's a dog in the background. You'll get to sit on all the speakers in between all of the meetings, and it's a great opportunity to connect and stuff like that. So we would love as many as we can get. I know we need at least a minimum of like 15. So if anybody has a few, one here and there that they can give to me. Great.
The MARR team's going to be there Saturday, and then Sunday is the where we have the other individuals from the other states, like Michigan. It's going to be there, and then the conference is actually Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So the MARR team will be there as well, and the contractors and stuff. We look forward to seeing everybody there as much as possible. That would be amazing.
Yeah, the volunteers will be needed the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. Majority of them for the whole day. I don't think all of them, it depends on what your volunteer will be assigned to do, but not all of them will be needed all day, every day. So yeah, they'll get more information as I receive contacts. So.
Okay. And to remind those that have logged on since I said it last, I'm asking everyone to go to the chat and please put your name and the organization that you are representing. So we can kind of keep track of kind of a roll call here to see who's attending the meeting. And then we'll be able to better track who's actually watching the YouTube afterwards, So again, if you can't attend this mandatory meeting, it is mandatory that you watch the YouTube version of this on the MARR site so that you're kept up to date on different things that are going on. So one thing I
was going to say, just another thing as well, since we do have the conference next month, there will not be a mandatory MARR operator meeting next month. So we will be skipping the month of October because the second Wednesday in October is the 11th, and that is the week of the conference. So the next meeting after this will be November 8th. And I will also put
well,
that
that's
in my
okay because
follow-up email.
everyone's going to be at the conference anyway, right? So we'll just have
Yeah, we'll have our meeting
right there in Dearborn. All right. All right. I wanted to say 1016 Recovery is the operator of the month this month. So congratulations, 1016. And there was going to be somebody on here. There's somebody from 1016 that can speak up. Oh, Jessica.
I'm here.
There you are. Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you tell us about 1016 and tell us some of the things that you do there? What kind of things do you provide and what are your homes like?
So we run 2 recovery houses in Midland. We have a men's facility that has 13 beds in it and a women's facility that has 7. So we are a smaller program, but that makes it so that we can make it a much more intimate program. So kind of like you were speaking to, our recovery houses, we have, even at the men's house with 13 guys, we have a kitchen table that's big enough for everyone to kind of sit around and eat dinner together. We host house meals at both of our houses at least once a week, where the clients that are living there are just brought together and we do like our house meeting and they have dinner together or breakfast. We work really hard to do things to get them engaged in the community. James, who is newer to my recovery housing program, has just started taking the guys to the gym. So they've started kind of just getting out in the community and working out and trying to build some new hobbies. And we have done things like taking the clients kayaking and we've taken them fishing, and we just try to teach them like a better way to live and new ways to like spend their free time. All of the clients in our recovery houses do outpatient through our 1016 in Midland as well. So there's connections there so that they're getting like wraparound services. So therapy, recovery coaching, the whole 9 yards. And it works really well for us. We have a good program.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so Brian, one of our contractors had gone there and done a site review and just had nothing but wonderful things to say, and very was very pleased with the structure that you have going on there, how clean the homes are, the chore list you got in place. It was evident that there's a healthy culture taking place and that everybody's doing their part and keeping it a clean, safe, sober living environment, which is what we want to see. Even coming up to the environment, I mean, the home just kind of stood out too, and said we want the homes to blend in, but it stood out more because of the landscaping and how nice it looked outside. And that's the kind of stuff we want to see, because, and I've said it before too, when people are going up and down the street, they know there's a recovery home on there somewhere, and they're looking for the most rundown home they can find on the street, because they got to assume that's got to be it. There's such a stigma attached, unfortunately, that this is what we want to see, especially certified operator. We want people to go by and walk up the street and say, wow, that's a recovery residence. That's nice. I would live there, And that's the stuff that I look for too. Like when I do site reviews, if I go to a home, it's one of the things I look for, is it homey? Is it clean? Is this someplace that I would feel comfortable or want a family member to stay there? And if it's not, then, maybe we need to do something different, something's missing. So thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for representing recovery residents in MARR. There you are. Congratulations.
1016 is also one of our OG operators. Do you actually know how long you've been certified, Jessica?
I have no idea. I've been here for like 8 years, so at least that long.
Okay. Yeah, 1016 was one of the original operators certified by MARR, and they've been consistent ever since. So
Nice.
we'll have to get that actual date.
So anybody else have anything they'd like to share? What do you do in your home? You do extracurricular activities, anything to kind of bring the group together and make it more of a family unit?
Rachel, I saw your hand was raised earlier. Did you still have a question?
Just something to add to that. Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel with ATS Addiction Treatment Services Recovery Homes in Traverse City. We have the luxury of all of our homes. We have 6 homes here in Traverse City, and they are very home-like to the point. It's kind of the other end of the spectrum as far as we have to remind more so often to our clients that is a facility rather than a home, just to odds and ends of certain behavior. But they're very homey. But one thing that I do like that we've kind of, myself and Marcus, who run the recovery homes, have done. We saw one home that was taking turns with all the clients of who was going to prepare the family meal for that week, which night, and they would always line it up with one of our ATS offered Zoom groups or a meeting that they can dial into from the comfort of the home. And one house just kind of went with that, and then we started incorporating it with the other 5 houses, and now every and also make sure that grills at all make sure that all houses are utilizing or take
You're cutting out.
Cutting out.
Oh, is this any better?
That's better.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just missed the end of that.
We just saw one house making a point to have family meals each night, and they would take turns who was going to cook that meal, who was going to prepare for that meal, and get the products for that meal. And then we went out to the other 5 houses and encouraging the other houses to do the same. And now we've got all 6 of our recovery homes doing that, and lining that up with an online Zoom group that's offered through ATS, or another Zoom NAAA, whatever meeting they all choose on. And I thought that was really great as far as it's, getting input from all of the clients in that home of what meeting they want to attend, but also taking turns each week to pick the meal, prep the meal, prepare it, and everybody sit down as a family. And those are the kind of things that make our hearts smile. So I just wanted to add that to what we were discussing.
That's
Thank
really
you.
awesome. Yeah, I really love the idea of all of the residents getting together for family meals, game nights. Like those 2 things alone really help provide a home-like environment. It helps the residents get to know each other better and even become friends. And that's really great. We love hearing that kind of stuff.
Well, at the end of the day, that's their support too. A lot of people don't have their family anymore. They've burned their bridges. They don't have their family. Their friends are all using. So that's their support, and their family unit is now the home and their sponsor or people that they're meeting at their meetings. So it's really important to build that community within your homes. Anybody else want to share what you're doing to help your environment be more home-like or to make it more of a community? I'm gonna call names. Jason, I know you do stuff too.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things in the summertime, especially when it's really nice. We have some of the things is it's a competition between the two houses. We just recently finished up beach volleyball, and at that time both houses come together on our Monday night when we typically have our house meeting, and they compete against one another, and then whatever house wins, they get to take the trophy back to their house until we meet again. We're going to be playing kickball this September. This one of the weekends coming up. I'm kind of waiting to see what the weather's going to be like. So we'll have our last one for the year, and then we usually our final thing is we usually go over to the meeting hall, and both houses come together and we clean up around the what's called the Boyne Valley Alcoholics Anonymous group, and we clean up around the hall and rake leaves and go through and cut out all the plants in the garden and clean the interior and the exterior and make it look nice for the winter. So, we're pretty small too. We're like 10, 16, and we're very, it's a home. You definitely walk in and it's a home. The couches and the chairs and televisions and the artwork on the wall. We have artwork all throughout, even up in the halls and the bedrooms and in all the rooms. It's it does make it a lot. Makes it a lot more homier feel. I had an opportunity to spend time working in treatment, so I definitely know the institutionalized side of it, what that looks like. And so I made sure there were no stand-up urinals in the house, and we got rid of everything that looked like it could be medically based. So a lot of it too has to do with the people in the home too. The people that are there, the men that are there, they're there because they want to find the connection, and a lot has to do with the harmony in the house. So we try and foster that harmony as much as we can. So
Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share what you're doing? All right. One thing, holidays, we got some holidays coming up, or even Halloween. I don't like Halloween myself, but yeah, it's just another thing that people like to decorate, so I've heard of homes actually having a decorating contest, who can decorate their home, the best, and whatever home wins, they get a pizza night or something, or just some kind of competition, something that they can embrace within their home. I love the idea about the meals and bringing people together and cooking family style. One thing is that we need to remember too, a lot of you have access to food pantries and stuff. So, and when people come and go, they usually leave vegetables, that canned salmon, that other stuff, nobody wants the bagged beans and all that stuff. But instead of letting that stuff go bad, because you got to keep an eye on that too, right? Somebody in your home has to make sure that you're monitoring and making sure that you don't have expired foods just sitting in your shelves. But as things start to, they're starting to get ready to expire, utilize that and have a big old veggie soup or something for one of the family style meals. Take all those cans of pantry foods that you have and make some family meals out of that. So what are some other things that people are doing or that you can think of and share? Matt Spear or Separ. Did I say your name right? I said your name wrong. Spear. How do you say your last name?
It's Bihar.
Bihar. I did say it wrong. What do you do with your program? What program are you with?
I'm with Detroit Recovery Project. So right now we're on the smaller side of things. I only have 6 units as we stand right now. We're trying to open up another 4-unit house. The 6 units that we have is a upper and lower flat, 3 bedrooms upstairs, 3 bedrooms down. So every gentleman has his own bedroom, shared living room, shared dining room, shared kitchen. And it seems to work out well. Same thing as everybody else. We've got leather furniture in there. We have pictures up on the walls. They have TVs in their rooms.
Wow, TVs in their rooms.
Well, TV's in the living room for everybody shared. If they have
Okay.
access to a TV, they're more than welcome to have one in their room if they bring one with them. So some of the things we're doing right now, where our recovery house is located, it's right across from our west side location. So we constantly do things over there for them when they come over for groups. We'll do a dinner night, a pizza night. We have basketball in the back that we'll do. They have actually a barbecue in the backyard of the recovery house that they are free to use if they want to have a barbecue or anything like that. So we try to keep them busy as much as possible. Right now, most of the guys that are in our house work, and some of them work days, some of them work nights, so they're coming and going. So we're trying to accommodate where we can get like the full group meetings, so we get feedback from everybody at the same time. And I really like the idea of the family dinners and things like that. Like, that's something that I'd like to incorporate as soon as possible.
And they
Awesome.
can take turns doing it. And my late husband and I, when we ran homes, once a week, the guys would all pitch in. So everybody would bring something to the meal. Like if they're making spaghetti, one person would buy the pasta, one person bought the meat, and one person brought the garlic bread and that kind of stuff. So they just all kind of pitched in and provided that stuff. But it does make it more of a family style. So you said everyone has their own room. Does that, are they in recovery for a little bit before they have their own personal space? So you're concerned with isolating?
Right now, what we do is most of the people that come to us are coming out of treatment, whether it be 60 days, 90 days. They've been in another treatment center. Most of them don't have a place to go when they get released, so we'll take them in. They're obligated to come to group meetings for recovery support next door 3-4 times a week. We have outpatient on site. We're a certified community behavioral health clinic. So we have wraparound care, we have psych on site, we have primary care on site, we have a nurse that's there 5 days a week, we have case managers, we have recovery coaches. So we try to take everything that they've gotten out of treatment and just continue that on the outside and incorporate them back into the world. Give them the tools that they need to build a resume, get a email address that's suitable for applying for jobs, and get them out in the workforce and get them back on their feet, get them the confidence and the tools that they need to get out there and do it for themselves.
Nice. Thank you. Anybody else have anything they want to share about your program? Anything you're doing, anything that's coming up, maybe besides the conference that you're getting ready for?
I'm getting married.
Well, it's not recovery focused, but congratulations. Yeah,
I just want to let people know that I am getting married next month, and I will be changing my name. So my email is going to look different, and so I didn't go anywhere. My name's just going to be changed. So just look out for that.
Hey, with the weather getting a little bit cooler now again, I just again want to remind people about when the windows start to close and people are inside more, people start getting sick. So it's just really important that keep that in mind and keep the masks ready and available, and make sure that there's hand soap at every sink, the hand sanitizer. People are going to start getting flu and cold and COVID. COVID has not gone anywhere. It's still here. So just keep in mind, heaven forbid there's another lockdown or anything like that, but there could be another bout of people getting sick, and maybe your whole home's going to be in, trouble in some way with everyone having COVID or something. So keep that in mind. What are you doing? Do you have things in place? Do you have all your cleaning supplies? Educate the residents that are there. Educate them on what to do, and hey, this is coming up. I'm still seeing here and there, I'm seeing still washcloths and loofahs and hand bar soaps and stuff sticking out. So there's things that you can do too as an operator to educate your residents to make sure that they're keeping those things. It's okay for them to have those things, but have those things with them and brought back to their room when they're not in the bathroom using them, because you don't want to have that shared stuff. So when people start sharing things, there's going to be all this cross contamination. So, again, as an operator, we're responsible to make sure that we're doing everything that we can on our end to make sure that our residents are safe. Okay.
Catherine, I was just gonna share. I'm Sarah from Superior Connections, RCO in Marquette. Our organization is gonna be hosting an event for Recovery Month at the end of this month. In the community, just kind of bring awareness to everybody and also like to bring the recovery community together. We're hosting an event where we're gonna be doing like Narcan training. We're gonna have like a yoga session going on, and speakers, and just like some donuts and coffee and just information about sober living and different things in the area that have to do with recovery. So we'll be hosting that event on the 30th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Send out, can you put something in the link for everyone?
As soon, can I send it out to you as soon as we get the
Sure.
flyer together? Okay, we're
Sure,
still in the midst of the work. We were
Okay.
planning like a really big like rocking recovery event, but we decided that was a little short notice. So next year we're gonna go a little bit bigger, but this
Well,
year,
September is Recovery Month. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of communities that are doing big things, during September. Is there anybody in your community doing anything, any kind of rallies, or is your home doing anything to celebrate Community Month or the Recovery Month? Go ahead and speak up. Betty?
Rachel. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're cutting out a lot, Rachel.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi in my office is bad, but is this any better?
It's a little better.
Better.
Well, one of our administrative offices here in Traverse City, they different titles for each building. And our administrative office is called the Porch, and we're having a Porchapalooza at the end of September, which is always a great turnout. And that's when we get the businesses in the area involved in recovery and get our client. Our parking lot gets filled. We have dunk takes. We have food distributors in the area coming, food trucks in our parking lot, and it's just a good awareness day anyway. But all of our clients are out in full force, and the community is the level of support is always really impressive. So we're looking forward to that over here.
I love the idea of a dunk take. I want to do that at MARR, and Jeff Ventrese is going to be in the dunk take, and we're going to ask all the operators to come. And
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff?
I right on the platform to Olympic diving. Is that what you want me to do?
Jessica, did you have something you wanted to share?
I'm Jessica. I'm from Sacred Heart. I have a house in Benton Harbor. It's very small. We only have 4 girls, 4 rooms, but we have an event that Carol's Hope that we partner with. They're doing a recovery rally on the 23rd where they're going to have vendors, and they partner with the local police force and the courts and all that stuff. And they work, and we're going to have a booth up there at Sacred Heart. And so we'll be doing that on the 23rd.
Nice. You want to share some information in the chat? I mean, for operators too that are in the area, or is that just mainly for?
No, it can be. I mean, it's for everybody. I just don't have it with me right now to put it in the chat, but I can put the date and the time on there where it's at.
You can share it on the Facebook page.
I was actually just going to mention to Jessica and Sarah, it's been great when people share their events on the MARR operator forum, because that way all of the operators can see what recovery events are happening, and if they can participate, then that's great. It's a great opportunity for our operators to get together, get to know each other, for the residents to get to know each other, increase their recovery capital, so we love seeing those events in the operator forum. And if there's anyone new on here that doesn't know about the Facebook page, I always add it in the post-meeting follow-up email. We have a good amount of people on there. So I think we have like 46 of our operators on there so far. So more than half, and it's been great seeing all of those recovery events and getting to know each other. So.
Nice. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about? This meeting's for you. Anything you want to share? Any changes going on with your homes? Any problems you're having that you want to have some input from other operators? Everyone's so quiet. Hey. All right, Mr. Van Treese, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Get paid by the word, and so yeah, I'll fill up the next 20 minutes for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind people about, please attend the conference. Please don't wait. Attend that conference and represent Michigan.
Right, and that was my thought, Catherine. Was that this will be the 7th conference I've been to. I've learned something at every single one. They're incredibly interesting. There's going to be Dr. Thomasina Borkman, who's really one of the pioneers of the social model of recovery, is going to be speaking. Dr. David Best from somewhere in London, the university, he's the primary author of the Recovery Capital Assessment Instrument tool. We're going to have a special breakout session dealing with underserved communities, and the two that are going to be on there, one will be Kateri Koyas from White Bison, who's going to be talking about recovery and their Wellbriety movement in the Native American tribal population. Well, we've also got 2 Muslim recovery advocates. One, Dr. Hinid Duali from Columbus, Ohio, who runs 2 recovery homes for men that are Islamic based. And I spent more than 6 months trying to find a Muslim-based, Islamic-based recovery residence in Michigan. I don't believe that there are any. And if anybody knows of any, please yell at me. But we've got somebody from Access, which is a Detroit-based, Dearborn-based Muslim religion-based recovery advocacy. They deal mainly with treatment, but there's a lady named Mona. I'm going to screw up her last name. Aderi. Anyway, Mona is going to be there, and she's going to be talking about the unique challenges and some of the successes that she's found dealing with the Muslim population in the greater Dearborn, Detroit area. We're going to have operators from throughout the United States talking about best practices. And we've also got one track that's going to be specifically dealing with state agencies. We're very proud here in Michigan for a relatively small amount of money when you're dealing with the Michigan state budget surrounding area. We've been able to provide training so that all of our recovery residence operators have been trained with the 20-hour MARR module training and the 4-hour Michigan state specific MARR training. And every single recovery residence operator that's willing is going to be able to use the recovery capital assessment tool to track the improvements and to fine tune their own program, see what works and what maybe needs some improvement. So we're, I'm incredibly excited about the fact that it's happening here in Michigan. I hope every single one of you folks are there. If you're not there, you're able to, with the code that you have given to you, you're able to access the recorded portions of the conference, which will probably be a couple, 2-3 weeks after the conference is over. They'll be available online. And so you'll be able to access the information. So, and the other thought is the hotel rooms are gonna get real pricey. So if you haven't already, and if you need to stay in a hotel because you're too far away for driving purposes, and it's at the Henry, which is in Dearborn. And it's easily accessible by major freeways and highways there. But anyway, if you need a hotel room, now is the time to reserve your hotel room. Don't wait. And if you wait, you yell at Catherine or Kayla, not me.
Yes. Yes, yeah, because you waited.
Yeah. Am I done with my hours or do I need to talk more?
You're done.
Okay.
Anyone have, does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up or talk about?
Is there any questions?
Otherwise, I'm gonna say enjoy your day, and I hope to see everybody at the conference. Please come. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for all you do.
Hey, everybody.